Great.
Seeing you, man. Seeing you, guys.
Great to have you. So much to break down and discuss from the game last night. Why don't we dive there right now? How did the Chiefs beat the 49ers? We'll take you back down to Miami for that. Jimmy Garoppolo, Patrick Mahomes, a lot of pressure on those two. Jump to the fourth quarter. Chiefs in pretty familiar territory, trailing again, this time down 10. Patrick Mahomes connecting with Tyreek Hill for 44 yards on the play. 4 plays later, finding Travis Kelce. That's a 1-yard touchdown. He's happy. Mahomes is happy. KC pulls within 3. Jump to under 4 minutes left. Chiefs driving. Mahomes this time to Sammy Watkins for 38 yards. And then 3 plays after that, it's Mahomes and Damian Williams connecting for the 5-yard touchdown. Puts Kansas City up 24-20. The 49ers would get one last chance to get back in this. Jimmy G trying to find Emmanuel Sanders deep, but he overthrows him deep. Next play, 4th down. Let's get this. Jimmy G would get sacked. Turnover on downs. Jimmy with just 219 yards on the night to go along with 2 costly turnovers. And then 2 plays later, Damian Williams busting the game wide open here. A 38-yard score to help the Chiefs win it 31-20, giving KC their first Super Bowl in 50 years. Eddie, we expected a close game. We got a close game. What do you think? Did the Chiefs win it, or did the 49ers lose this one?
You know, I was on the fence with this one. I think the Chiefs won this one. I mean, we've seen this from them all playoffs.
Every game.
Every single game against Houston, the Titans. I was at that game, actually. And to watch how they did it again in the 4th quarter with Patrick Mahomes on the line, not playing great in the first half, could have easily imploded, could have easily got caught up in the moment and really been rattled and faltered on that moment. But he was able to come out and make the necessary plays to be the MVP and find a way to win the game. So the Chiefs did it their way as usual.
Well, and you mentioned could have imploded. I got to be honest. I thought he was a little bit. When a guy has never thrown an interception in his playoff career and in the Super Bowl while trailing, throws an interception on consecutive drives, you were a little worried. Like, one of the elements of the Super Bowl you always hear about is that long halftime. And he went, I think it was 56 or 46 minutes between times touching the ball. And the first possession where he touched the ball after halftime, he threw a pick. And it was a real process error. It's like there's a guy right there. He never makes that mistake.
Behind it, yeah.
And then, well, the second one he throws behind him. The first one he just throws short. And then the next drive, he throws another pick.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man. Like, I'm now going to have to deal with a year of people saying, yeah, but with Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, but what about that Super Bowl? And then it still wasn't looking great when they got the ball back. 1st down, incomplete. There's a false start penalty. 2nd down, incomplete. You're at 3rd and 15 now. 3rd and 15, down 10, 7.5 minutes left. And from that moment forward, he was perfect. From that moment forward, he hits Tyreek Hill on what looked like an 11-step drop. He's just going backwards and backwards and backwards for Tyreek to get open. That was on 3rd and 15. On 3rd and 10, when they need a touchdown, he hits Kittle, and they end up calling a pass interference penalty. The next drive, he has the Sammy Watkins play we showed you, and then I don't know if you noticed the Damian Williams play. That was 3rd and 5 as well. They would have had to kick. If that's incomplete, they have to kick a field goal. You got to kick a field goal in that spot, tie the game. He was absolutely perfect. After, for 52 minutes, was the worst game of his career.
Which is remarkable for a guy to be 24 years old, first Super Bowl, and that pressure situation to come out and make those plays was tremendous. And the Tyreek Hill play, well, that set everything off. That was their first play over, 20 yards the entire game. A team that's used to scoring at will, 70-yard throws, 60 explosive plays all over the field. That was just really remarkable by Patrick Mahomes. So the Chiefs definitely won that game.
Yeah, to me, the Chiefs won that game, too. I mean, I don't think that you can lose games like this. I think the other team has to take it from you. They have to go out there and make the plays. And a lot of people in sports, you know, they have to realize that games are going to go back and forth. There are going to be momentum swings. Teams are going to face adversity. We saw that. The Chiefs had, what, a 10-3 lead, and then the 49ers go out and score 17 straight points. And then the Chiefs have 3 consecutive touchdown drives. So, I mean, it went back and forth. But at the end of it, you trusted Pat Mahomes, if he had the ball and the opportunity, that he was going to be able to go out there and make some plays, and that's exactly what he did.
Make the case, though, for those who say that the 49ers lost this
absolutely.
game.
Listen, there were You have a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter with the ball. You have a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter with the ball when you are theoretically the exact type of team that is built to take advantage of that.
They would run the football.
They were. Let's pull to your career for a bit. You guys were, and you. By the way, Steve McNair is better quarterback, late great Steve McNair, than Jimmy Garoppolo. So it's not like you guys couldn't come back if you were trailing. But the Chiefs are a team built to come from behind. The Niners are a team built that if we get the lead, we are going to choke you to death.
Yes.
And you were in that circumstance. And by the way, okay, so the first time you have the lead after the Mahomes pick, not the first time you have the lead, but when you have the ball up 10, that drive ends poorly, so be it. Chiefs get a touchdown. But now you've got the lead, there's less than 6 minutes left. You're up 3. You run the ball on first down, you get 5 yards. And you don't run it again? You don't have a substantial run the entire rest of the football game, Eddie?
Yeah, and they were gashing the Kansas City defense. They were able to get some runs with the perimeter runs on the outside, hitting them in the middle with the power game. And to your point, that's 49er football, is when you put your foot on their throat, they're going to crush it. And for Jimmy G, they didn't protect him enough with the run. They should have continued to run the football, allow him to rely on the play action game, because he was making a lot of decent throws when the play action was effective with the run game. But they got 49ers' best shot. They were able to, on defense, they were able to get a 4-man rush to Patrick Mahomes, really disrupt his flow. They were able to run the football. They were okay on third downs. But they didn't finish the job by not running the football effectively enough for Jimmy G to win that game, to close the game out.
Which is really surprising, because in the fourth quarter, when you have a double-digit lead, the game is no longer against the Chiefs. The game is against the clock. And you got to try to run the football, and that's the strength of your offense. Your offensive strength isn't your quarterback dropping back to pass, on second and short or third and short. You have to be aggressive with your run game and try to pound it. And you had success running the football in the first 3 quarters, and you got away from it. To me, that didn't make any sense. You left the door cracked open for the Chiefs to take advantage of it. But I still say that the 49ers had opportunities, and the Chiefs stepped up when they needed to, both sides of the ball, not just offensively, but defensively, being able to get stops when they needed to. So you got to give credit where credit is due. I believe that the Chiefs took that game from the 49ers.
So quickly then, would you put this on Kyle Shanahan? Was he the one that
Listen, Kyle Shanahan at the end of the first half, it's a travesty.
Yeah.
You can't make, you are showing a lack of faith in every unit on your team. Your quarterback, because you don't want to run a drive. Your running backs, because you could have just run the ball and gotten in field goal range theoretically. And your defense, because the real reason you don't want to even just run the ball and try to go score, you call your timeout, give yourself a minute 40 is, well, if we have to punt, can we stop them? And I thought the play I mentioned, Eddie, after the first down run, 1st and 5, not running the ball again, 2nd and 5, 5.5 minutes left, is a killer. But I know, to give credit, Candy, you said something before the show I think it's worth the audience understanding. You loved the Steve Spagnuolo blitz call on 3rd and 10 because it was, you said, what'd you say before the show?
Somebody's band is going to play. If you're going to blitz, you're either going to get home or they're going to score. It's going to be a big play, and they'll probably lead to them scoring quicker, which means you would get the ball back with over a minute left with the MVP.
With almost 2 minutes left,
with
down
former
3.
MVP Pat Mahomes. So to me, it just made sense on 3rd and 10 and 4th and 10 to send the blitz, get after him, see if you can get home, and it paid off for him because it forced that incompletion on the one where Emmanuel Sanders was wide open, and then you get a sack to force the turnover on down. So to me, that was brilliant play calling by Steve Spagnuolo. Probably doesn't get enough credit, but you held the 49ers to 20 points.
Right.
I mean, that's their lowest output during this postseason. So I looked at it from the standpoint that Kansas City, both the coaching and the players executing, made the necessary calls, made the necessary plays in order to win that game and take it from the 49ers. That's why I can't say that the 49ers lost this more than the Chiefs won it.
All right, we got so much more to come. Eddie, stick around for us. Coming up, our